Yeah, we're here now, and with all due respect to Andy Williams, the GOAT of Christmas songs, this is the most wonderful time of the year. No disrespect, because the playoffs are here. The brackets are set, the paths are clear, and everything you did before doesn't matter now. It was all for this moment. A treacherous stretch where one mistake along the way means everything you worked for is gone. It's where legends are made and heroes rise. And lifelong dreams for one team in each class will be realized. It is the greatest gauntlet in all of sports, and it starts right now. Here we go. 4A, grab it with the home field advantage over Central Arkansas Christian. Lions on the hunt for points early. Austin Wolf, hungry like his namesake for some yak. He makes some defenders miss and picks up a nice first down, and the boys in black are starting to feel it early. So now it's time for the quarterback, Cameron Bedwell, getting in on the fun. Who said this is a pretty boy position? He's carrying dudes for a few extra. Then continues to preach the gospel of grab-it football with another carry. This one all the way to the promised land as the Lions jump on top early. But oh, you thought they were done? They got the ball and they get right back at it, going for more, but no! Throw it in reverse, Terry. It's going the other way. Colt Van Dyke intercepts it, and he has reservations for 6, but just a minor speed bump for Gravit as they end up cruising in this one. They move on to see the winner of Lone Oak and Monticello in the next round. Final here, 64-14. Now, one of the favorites to win it all in 4A, Elkins, welcomed in Forest City to Elk Country, and there were indeed some fireworks tonight. First Elkins drive, a quick reminder, you can't spell hammer without ham. Connor Ham smashing his way into the purple rectangle, making it 7-0. Now, next FC possession, you know the special teams rule by now. Austin Bourne gets his hands up like it's noon, and number 12 has himself a block, which would set up this. Ben Napier looking off the safety. Then he isn't worried about no more pennies because all he has are dimes anyway. Also, okay, Brad Walker, we see you with that catch, 14-0 Elks. And if you've watched it all this season, you know it's just rinse and repeat from here on out. This time, Napier's aerial strike to Isaiah Haywood. Payday, he cashes it in. And fear the bugle. Elks win it 52-14. Southside, not Fort Smith, coming to town next week for them. Let's check in now on the lone survivor in 5A. Farmington hosting Harding Academy. Cardinals Aiden Lester cooking in the pocket with a little bit of shake and some bake before hitting Aiken Johnson, who takes us some inspiration. Little matador act. Underlay from the man in red. Gets down close to the goal line, which means it's time for some good old-fashioned 1950s football smash mouth. And the all-star on this play, Carter Hutchinson, he makes 20-0 Birds. Cardinals defense, though, getting in on that action, also flying high tonight. That ball batted into the air, and luckily for Harding, lands harmlessly on the ground. But the Cardinals were feeling dangerous tonight. They blank Harding 44-0. They get the winner of Robinson and Camden Fairview. This next one of the best games of the first round, Ozark at Bauxite. Coming out of the tunnels, fired up for some playoff action. Here we go. Can the Hillbillies do it? Bauxite going to have the ball. Bernie Fox looking. Intercepted. Oh, the Hillbillies had it, and it's going the other way. Little tricky there. So now Wyatt Foreman dropping in the pocket. He hits Cole Witherton. He's got it. Oh, you couldn't walk it down any better, and he's into the end zone. 7-0 Bauxite. Celebrations had by all, but here come the Hillbillies. Big fella getting it in. Number 0, 7-6 after the score. John Skolarski now going to make it 12-7 in favor of the Hillbillies. Fire that shotgun if they were at home. But Bauxite right back at it. Wyatt Foreman on the job, 14-12. He's got a touchdown. But we still ain't done. Caden Metzger, the star of this next highlight. He's going to be reversing field, finding some green grass, and whoop, makes the man miss. Whoop, again, and then he finally scoots out of bounds. So they're set up in pretty prime position, and they're going to finish it off. Oh, he just goes in untouched. This one was a close one and a fun one, but Bauxite knocks off the Hillbillies 28-26 to put an end to their season. They will now face the winner of Mills and Helena West Helena. And with that, 4 seasons continue, 4 come to a close. But that's the playoffs for you. The epitome of the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. We'll see the highlights for who else heads into Saturday happy after the break. But first, more scores from the games that we couldn't quite get to. with the first football Friday night of the 2025 postseason, where each week is a one-game season, and just one off night means your girlfriend gets you back on Fridays for the foreseeable future. The football is bigger, and it is better than ever, and more of it is coming your way right now. Fire up the next reel, shall we? Our grand tour of the 7A is going to begin with North Little Rock at Bentonville West. Bentonville West heading back out after halftime. What a team effort this is to get the ball in the end zone after the trick play. Oh my goodness. You love it. Drawn up just how you wanted it and run just how you wanted it. So now the defense is on, trying to get to the quarterback. Got him, bringing him down. The charging Wildcats need a little more charge, but they are now going to try and bounce it outside, and they've got some room. He's going to go all the way. He could outrun him. Woo, it was a close foot race, but he finds pay dirt there at the end zone to make things interesting. But this was a rocky second and third for these teams, but it ends with the Wolverines scraping by with a W. They get it 34-33, and they will now see Conway fresh off a bye in the next round. Next up, Pulaski County enters the purple haze of Fayetteville. The Fayetteville defense getting going early. Big sack to kick off the first drive, and they will keep it on a rolling on their heels on the goal line. Jax Tidwell ripping it out of the receiver's arm. Give me that thing. Come on now. And says, this is my ball, and I want to score. He's going the other way up the sideline. They are pumped. Got our cameraman's way, but Tidwell is stopped deep into Pulaski territory. You're just going to have to trust me on that one. So the Bulldogs now back on offense. Hank Hendricks sits in the pocket, looking, under pressure, but pressure makes diamonds, baby. Gets out to the left and lowers the boom. Ooh, okay. Knocks over the defender, bringing Fayetteville within striking distance, and they would strike immediately. Caleb Johnson into the end zone for the first score of the night. Noah wants me to do this. Powers his way in as Fayetteville takes this one at 58-22. Their reward, though, a date with top seed and defending champion of the 7A, Bryant Hornets, up next. Let's jump in the buses now and ship out to Little Rock to check out Harbor at LRC. Warriors deep in Wildcat territory. Eli Robertson gets the snap, rushes around the outside, and into the end zone, 7-0 Warriors. Wildcats running back now. Reed McAllister getting the ball and getting the touchdown, dives in with a missed PAT, sets the score at 7-6. So Warriors running back, Jackson Ward now going to try and respond, receives the ball and right up the gut. He'll take it 14-6, but guess what? We're still not done. Eli Robertson, snap, back to pass, but just going to keep it and gets through a man or two or three, and then it's just green grass and a blue end zone in front of them. 44-34, Warriors are going to win. Little Rock Christian going to see the rested and rolling Rogers Mounties in the next round. And we may as well stay out there for our final 7A game of the evening, Springdale at Cabot. And before I can even finish setting this game up, oh, what a hater interrupting me. We're off and running. Carson Hader with I don't even think you can call it a QB sneak at that point anymore. He's just making a crib call on fourth down, and the Bulldogs are up 10-0. A little bit later, the Panthers can't just stare at that last message. They need to respond, and they do. Maddox McCroy threading that needle to Aeneas Arnold, and he's real casual into the end zone, making it 10-7. But that Bulldogs offense was given options all night, and the Panthers were picking the wrong answer every single time. Hader with his second of 4 first-half touchdowns. And then why not? A little bit of melatonin in the form of a trick play to put this one to bed. Touchdown. Springdale wins big, 55-31. Next up for them, the biggest, baddest team in NWA, the Bentonville Tigers. And with that, we've reached another break, but on the other side, we'll check in on the 6A bracket, including our game of the week. But first, more scores from the other games from across the area. And we are down to the final 2 games of the opening round. So I hate to do it since it means we have to end the show, but I have just got to see how these last 2 shake out. And these 2 are 2 of the teams in the 6A bracket. Of course, we have our game of the week, but first we got to check in on the Southside Mavericks taking the long haul to Jonesboro to match up against the Hurricanes. We're going to jump in the second quarter. Assam Myers scrambles out of trouble and finds Kamari Fisher, and he's going to muscle through to get just enough yards for the first down. Very next play, T.J. Brown finds the hole, and he breaks free 36 yards later, and he is in the house. Jonesboro gets the extra point, takes a 21-7 lead. Back on offense, Southside looking for an answer. They would get one. Blake Forsgren with a money throw, making it rain to Peyton Zimmerman. Dot down the field for the first down. Then it's Zimmerman on the direct snap, and he punches it in. Mavericks cut the deficit down to 7. Defense holds strong, so Mavericks get back on offense, and look at Zimmerman go. Lots of green grass and a big gain, but the Hurricanes would also hold strong, stopping them from getting any points on that one. So Jonesboro leads at the half, and they will squeak out with a victory in this one, 42-34, and what does that earn them? Well, a meeting with the reigning, defending 6A champion Greenwood Bulldogs. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 'tis time for the grand finale. Our game of the week, Van Buren hosting Marion. Marion getting the ball to start from the Van Buren 5. Solon Flores gets it, will find a way into the end zone. Point after is blocked, so it's 6-0 Patriots. Pointers can't respond, so Patriots now on their own 34. Jeremiah Dent will find a big hole and take off. He is gone. Marion getting going early. The PAT is good. So Van Buren ball now just outside the goal line. Tristan Ray pushing himself in to get the pointers on the board. Jumping to the second quarter now. Marion turning it over on downs, and it's Ray once again with the keeper. 2-pointer is good. So Van Buren takes the lead, 15-13. But Marion coming on back in this game. Fourth quarter, they're going to upset Van Buren 29-26. That one from the pointer 17, Zayden Walker finding Flores, weaving his way for the touchdown. Well, I mean, that was a spoiler. You read the last page, you got it, so you know how it ends. Van Buren is heading home, whereas the other team moving on to face Sylvan Hills off a bye, and we will move on to Robin Hearn for more coverage on our opening round game of the week.
Yeah, Alex, Van Buren playing in his first home playoff game in 15 years. They needed a lot of confidence against a Marion team that also had a bunch of up and downs this season. Now, they had that confidence in the first half, but it slowly started to fade, and the Patriots took advantage of that in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. First half, Marion had 5 turnovers. Unfortunately, Van Buren only get 1 point off of one of them. However, Marion not going down without a fight, making this one a 3-point game late into the fourth, eventually taking the lead, and Van Buren just couldn't get anything going as their offense slowed up and was silent in the fourth quarter. But now Van Buren finishes the season 5-6 overall. In Van Buren, Robin Hearn, 5 News Sports.
And with that, we have reached the end of the opening round, but don't you worry, that playoff action is going to continue next week. Hope to see you right back here for another